Hey guys, Jacob with Jacob Comics. Alright, we have a really fun episode. Today we're going to be showing you guys, so I'm doing a project to try to spruce up my slab room, basically. And so we're going to be showing you guys a little project that you guys can do with, you can do this with the BCW short boxes, or what I'm going to be doing it with is the BCW graded box bins. But yeah, we have a little project and we're going to show you guys how to turn this into this. Alright guys, so the first step obviously is you need one of their white short boxes, right? So step number one is to get one of their white short boxes, and yeah, so once you've got at least one of those, then step number two is going to be to head over to your computer. This does require a color printer, unfortunately. So if you have access to that, then this is a project that you can do. Otherwise, I don't really know how you would do it without the color printer. I guess if you could find pictures or other art pieces that size, you could kind of do the same thing. I wouldn't recommend cutting up comic books, but to each his own. All right, guys. So let's get dived into step number one. The first thing that you'll need to do to do this little project. All right, guys. All right. So step number one is I've already done some of it, but I'm going to kind of show you a little bit of how I did it. So step number one requires you to find the comic book covers by searching on your Google. Now, as you can see here, I've found a bunch of different comic book covers and then copied the picture into onto my desktop, and then I pulled them all into this to just kind of keep track of them. So that's kind of the idea, is however many boxes you intend to do, find pictures for all the ones that you're wanting to do. Now, if you'll notice here, you do see that some of the books I have two different copies. Sometimes you're only able to download them as what would be a WEBP file, and those I did have to transfer into JPEG files so that I would then be able to print them off on my computer. And other ones I downloaded them in JPEG, but let's see if I can find an example. Was it this one? Yeah, so I downloaded it in JPEG, but did need to do a little bit of cropping to the edges to get it to line up just right, as you can see with this New Mutants, which I will kind of pull up bigger so you can get kind of an example. So I had to pull this one into my editor and crop off this black because I did not want that black border around the book. And as you can see here, with the black border cropped off, it looks much nicer. Now let's go ahead and jump into step two. This would be after you've gathered all the pics that you're wanting to add and then printed them all off. We'll hop over into step two. All right, so step number two is, once you have printed out, we're going to use this one as the example for step number two. Once you've printed out your comic book cover that you want to use for the piece, then you want to cut it to size just so that it really gives it that extra pop, right? Now this is possibly, I want to say you could skip this process. You could skip this process, honestly. But if you feel confident and you think you can cut a straight line, I definitely recommend it. I think in the end it gives it a much better, cleaner look, and looks significantly more like you have a comic book in there than a piece of paper, which obviously you wouldn't want to cut off the front cover of a Hulk 181 and put it in there. But the idea is to just kind of get that artwork, and so, you know, you keep going until you've got all 4 sides cut. Now, one of the things I do want to point out when I did this is obviously I did try my best to go ahead and size the printouts to as close to comic book accurate size as I could get. And the easy way that I found to do that was to once I had it into the printer, once I had the JPEG file into the printer, then I would make sure it was turned long ways, and then size it up, but leave just ever so much white along the top and bottom, just a little bit of room there, not too much room. But that was the way I was able to kind of find that magical close to comic book size. And there's this last side here to do, and this probably is like the most tedious part of the process, but I definitely think it's worth it in the long run to cut them all up, like I said. And like I said, also additionally, you don't have to do this. Now, for the third part of the process, there are several different ways to go about it. One is you can honestly just use packing tape and go across packing tape all the way. I will bring up a box here so you can kind of get an idea of. So once you've cut it to size, you want to align it to the side of that, right? Now you can just, use packing tape all the way across the front to kind of protect the front here. But what I've chosen to do, and these were not very expensive at Walmart, was use some of these self-adhesive sheets. So basically what this is it's like a laminator kit, but without the actual laminator. But my intention is to only use one side of the stickiness, if you catch my drift. So instead of sticking the two together and creating a laminate, I'll just be using one side, and that will give me basically a giant piece of clear tape. And so, let's go ahead and head into process 3, the sticky part of aligning the tape. Aligning this onto some tape, and how I would recommend doing that. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get into that part. All right, so for the next step, guys, you'll want to get the sheets out, and what I recommend is the easiest way to do it is if you lay it with the non-sticky side down on something. It makes it a lot easier than to go ahead and take your cutout that you've got cut out and very carefully place that down so you hopefully don't get bubbles. Kind of rub it. You see how I'm rubbing it down? Make sure it's nice and down. Then we can take this top part off here. Once we've got the top part off, it is not going to be too hard here. We will pull this off. Now we do want to make sure that you get it pretty low, because you don't want the top of the image to be covered by the thing. But we also want just enough tape there to make sure there's a good stickiness. So get a good line. Once you've got it on there how you like, I think on this side, since there's nothing there, I can just go ahead and let that wrap around real nice. And as you can see, Now you have one completed. And with the top on, as long as you put it low enough, should have your comic book displaying very nicely there on the side. You just fingernail out any bubbles as you want for a good look. And there you go. And then continue on with however many comic books you did. And we'll go ahead and fast forward now till the end when I've got them all done and see what it looks like. All right, here we are, fast forwarded to the end. Yep, I think it looks really good. We've got the slabs kind of like a lot more organized, and I sort of like what comic is on each front sort of lets me know what's inside each of the boxes as well. So I think that helps also. I'm super happy with how it came out. Let me know what you guys think. As always, like, comment, and be subscribed to the channel for your chance to win the Marvel #1 variant. We'll be giving that away when we hit 600 subscribers. So yeah, if you watch this far into the video and you like this kind of content, help the channel grow. We'll see you guys next time as always, and have a great day.